72 tunnels, 851 kilometers underground, and a staggering $50 billion. This is what it takes to build a railway through the Himalayas, the Sichuan-Tibet Railway. It is one of the most ambitious and controversial infrastructure projects of our time. The Himalayas have long been a natural barrier, but China's new railway project aims to change that. We're taking a closer look at this railway project, a $50 billion investment that's bridging gaps and raising questions. How will this massive infrastructure project impact the region? Let's find out in this video. Welcome back to Just Know It 254. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel. I promise you will have the best videos and I will make them so interesting for you to watch and learn. Please subscribe. The Sichuan-Tibet Railway is a 1,012-mile-long railway line being built in one of the most challenging terrains in the world. It will connect Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan province, to Lhasa, the capital of Tibet. That's about the distance from New York City to Miami. Currently, it takes about 48 hours to travel from Chengdu to Lhasa, but once this railway is completed, that journey will be reduced to just 13 hours. This project is being built in segments, some of which are already operational. The first segment, from Chengdu to Yaoan, opened on December 28, 2018. Then, on June 25, 2021, the Nyanki to Lhasa segment started operations. It's the first electrified railway in Tibet and the first high-speed rail on the Tibetan Plateau. The final and most challenging segment from Yaoan to Nyanki is expected to be completed around 2030. This might seem like a long time, but considering the challenges involved, it's actually pretty impressive. This isn't just any railway. It's a high-elevation railway that will traverse the Tibetan Plateau, often called the roof of the world. We're talking about building tracks at altitudes where the air is so thin, you'd be gasping for breath just standing still. Special trains, called China Railway CR200J Fuxing series train sets, run on this line. They are specially designed to handle the high altitudes and challenging conditions of the Tibetan Plateau. The trains are equipped with both diffusion and distributed oxygen systems to help alleviate passengers' altitude sickness. Let's talk about the elevation for a second. This railway has to deal with an elevation difference of 3,000 meters, nearly 10,000 feet. The starting point in the Sichuan Basin is only about 300 meters above sea level. By the time you reach Lhasa, you're at 3,000 meters. In fact, 90% of the railway runs at an altitude of more than 3,000 meters. Some sections of the track will be built at elevations higher than the summit of Mont Blanc, the highest peak in Western Europe. To give you an idea of the scale of this project, the railway will include 72 tunnels with a total length of 851 kilometers. That's more than half of the entire railway line. The longest of these is the Yigong Tunnel, stretching for an incredible 42.5 kilometers. It's longer than the Channel Tunnel connecting England and France, which is considered one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. The Nyanki segment alone required the construction of 47 tunnels and 121 bridges, crossing the Yarlung-Tsangpo River Valley 16 times. But it's not just the altitude that's a challenge. The engineers are dealing with extreme temperatures and permafrost. Imagine trying to build a stable railway line on ground that's frozen most of the year, but turns to mush during the brief summer. It's like trying to build a sandcastle on a beach as the tide comes in. Only much harder. The temperature variations in this region can be extreme, ranging from scorching hot in the summer to bitterly cold in the winter. The engineers have to design tracks and structures that can withstand these massive temperature swings without warping or cracking. And let's not forget about the seismic activity in the region. The Himalayas are a geologically active area, prone to earthquakes. Building a railway that can withstand potential tremors adds another layer of complexity to an already challenging project. The engineers are using cutting-edge technology and innovative design solutions to ensure the railway can withstand whatever nature throws at it. Different construction techniques have had to be adapted for the unique conditions. But why go through all this trouble? Well, the potential economic benefits are huge. This railway is set to be a game-changer for Tibet's economy, potentially transforming one of China's least developed regions into a bustling hub of activity. It's going to dramatically improve connectivity between Tibet and central and eastern China. This means faster and cheaper transportation of goods, which could lead to a boom in trade. Tourism is another big factor. Tibet is already a popular destination for its breathtaking landscapes and unique culture. With easier access, we could see a surge in tourism, bringing in more money to local communities. We're talking about potentially millions of new visitors each year. This could lead to a boom in the hospitality industry, creating jobs in hotels, restaurants, and tour companies. But of course, this comes with its own set of challenges, which we'll get to in a bit. The railway could also open up access to Tibet's mineral resources. The region is rich in copper, iron, and rare earth elements, which are crucial for many modern technologies. These minerals are essential for everything from electric car batteries to wind turbines. Easier transportation could make mining these resources more economically viable, potentially turning Tibet into a key player in the global supply chain for these critical materials. All of this could lead to a significant boost in Tibet's GDP and living standards. The Chinese government has emphasized that this project is part of its efforts to alleviate poverty in the region. They're hoping that improved infrastructure will attract more investment, create jobs, and ultimately raise the standard of living for Tibetans. Some economists predict that the railway could help double Tibet's GDP in the coming decades. That's a huge change for a region that has historically been one of China's poorest. But hold on, before we get too excited about all these significant economic benefits, we need to talk about the significant environmental concerns surrounding this project, which are causing a lot of worry among environmentalists and local communities. Tibet's ecosystem is incredibly fragile. It's often called the third pole because it contains the largest reserve of fresh water outside the polar regions. The region is home to unique species like the snow leopard, the Tibetan antelope, and the black-necked crane. Many of these species are already endangered, and the construction of the railway and the increased human activity it will bring could disrupt wildlife habitats and migratory routes. There's also the issue of pollution. More tourists mean more waste, and in a region with limited infrastructure for waste management, this could become a serious problem. We've seen this happen in other popular tourist destinations, with beautiful natural areas becoming littered with plastic bottles and other trash. And let's not forget about the carbon emissions from all those trains and the increased industrial activity. While trains are generally more environmentally friendly than cars or planes, they still produce emissions, especially if they're not using clean energy sources. The construction process itself is also a concern. Building tunnels and bridges in this pristine environment could lead to habitat destruction and increased erosion. There's also the risk of contaminating local water sources, which could have devastating effects on both wildlife and human communities that depend on these water sources. The Chinese government has promised to implement strict environmental protection measures, but many environmentalists remain skeptical. Will the benefits outweigh the costs? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. The Sichuan-Tibet Railway is reshaping the roof of the world in ways we can only begin to imagine. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into the world's most intriguing topics. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts on the Sichuan-Tibet Railway. Do you think it's a good idea, or are the risks too high? We'd love to hear from you.